lecture will be on variation. First of all, we'll try to understand what is variation. Variation simply means changes seen or observed. For example, consider a person in this fashion. That means there is change seen in the height of this person. So this type of change is known as variation. In mathematics, there are three types of variation. In this lecture, I am going to deal with the direct variation. So then what is direct variation? Supposing we consider a van covering certain distance. To run this vehicle, we need petrol. If this van travel more distance, if the distance travel is more, then the fuel needed will be more. However, if the distance travel is less, the fuel consumed will be less simultaneously. So this type of variation, when one changes, the other changes in the same pattern, is known as direct variation. Supposing this distance is x and the fuel is y. So we can express this distance and fuel as direct variation mathematically like x proportional y. So this sign alpha is known as proportional sign. Proportional sign. To remove the proportional sign, we can introduce a new term k. This k is known as variation constant. Variation constant, and k is a non-zero constant. K cannot be 0. So then by definition, when a first quantity is divided by second quantity, we will get such a number k which is not equals to 0. If this is fulfilled, if the first quantity is divided by the second quantity and we will get a constant which is non-zero, then we can simply say that x is directly proportional to y. Let us consider one problem. Given x is proportional to y, so that means we can simply write x is equals to ky, for that matter x by y equals to k, and k is not equals to 0 by definition. Now what do we have to prove there? We have to prove y is proportional to x. Consider y by x equals to m. We don't know. If m equals to 0 or m not equals to 0. Now inverse this quantity x by y equals to, this also get inverse 1 by m, but we know that x by y equals to k from the first relation. Therefore x by y equals to 1 by m equals to k, we can say from first relation. Now 1 by m equals to k, so I can say simply write 1 by k equals to m, but k is not equals to 0, therefore 1 by k is also not equals to 0, that is m is not equals to 0. Now we prove that m is not equals to 0, that is y by x equals to m, and it is not equals to 0 from here. Therefore I can say m is proportional to I can say y is proportional to x. Proved. So the main idea behind solving this type of problem is we need to know the definitions of variations. What does the definition of variation says in summary? When first quantity is divided by the second quantity, the constant that we obtain here in this case is k or m will have to be non-zero. If we can prove that the constant obtained is non-zero, then we can simply say that the relations between two quantities is in direct variations or indirect variation or joint variation for that matter. So I hope you all have understood the basic behind direct variation and how to solve the problem. Thank you.